Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Around the Town with Chuck. My name is Chuck Guglielmo. It's a weekly interview show where we talk with interesting people in the community. And today we have with us the County Coach of the Year for Boys Basketball, Steve French, and the County Boys Basketball Player of the Year, second year in a row, Sam Hitchcock. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Time couldn't be more perfect because it was just announced here over the weekend, I believe, on those awards. And I thought all day what could be my opening question, and it's going to go to the coach.
Okay.
Steve, I need you to describe for me what it was like to coach this man for 4 years.
A privilege. It was definitely a privilege. Coaches definitely want guys who are competitors, who are self-motivated, and that's Sam. It doesn't take a lot to get him going. He wants to win as bad as anybody. And sometimes, you have to motivate kids, and as a coach, when you can just step back and kind of let these older guys, not even just Sam, lead the team, and you just focus on X's and O's and administrative stuff, it makes it very nice.
Of course, she was his coach for all 4 years.
Yes.
What differences have you seen with Sam from 9th grade through 12th, if any?
Well, he doesn't seem to shave anymore, so I don't know what that's about. But
all season.
maturity. I think he's really matured. He's become a leader. Sam's a quiet, kind of like homebody, lead by example kind of kid, and he's come out of his shell a little bit in a good way and been a better vocal leader and been a little more mature on the floor.
Of course, Sam, congratulations on your award, second year in a row. I predicted that in game 19. I was the first one, I have to say, that predicted that because I thought it would be a tight race between you and Marcus, and it was going to be difficult, but from week 19, I decided it had to be you. And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here, I really did say that.
Yeah.
Of course, you have the big name in the county, Hitchcock, of course, your grandfather. How proud is he of you? And I think I'm going to see him Sunday, right?
Yeah, he'll be there. I'm sure he's pretty proud. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really. Anytime I ever talk to him, he just talks about what I could have done better each game. But I know he's probably pretty proud of me. So.
Of course, he was a Hall of Famer in his own right, and I'm sure you're going to be too. I think it's 15 years you got to wait. Is that what it is, Steve?
I'm not
sure.
Something like that. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Steve, 16 wins you had this year out of, 25 games, I believe?
Yes.
The most gratifying win probably was the win over Edgewood in the districts?
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely had an early game with Poland where we had them at home and we beat them in overtime. And we kind of started this journey 4 years ago. We had some teams on our list that we wanted to get. Lake Catholic was kind of the first one, and Poland was a team a blue blood kind of team that's always around, always good, and we hadn't got them yet. So to get them for the first time too was also very gratifying.
In that win over Edgewood, and like I said, it was a thrill for me to call it. It was a thrilling game. Edgewood jumped out to a pretty big, sizable lead after the first quarter, 21-12. During that timeout, what did you do to change that game around? I mean, I know Edgewood started making a few more turnovers in the second quarter. The defense seemed to tighten up tremendously.
I don't think we changed much at all. Guys stayed positive, and Sam Chaney were a couple of the first guys to, even before I could say it, hey, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing, we're okay. We made a few small adjustments just on defense. They were hitting a lot of jump shots, so we wanted to get out on guys a little bit more, a couple guys. But other than that, we thought, over 32 minutes as the game wore on, our conditioning would wear them down and get Raphael and John out in the open floor, and we started to get some of those right before halftime.
And Sam, you, of course, you're the main player on the team, but you make those other players around you also play extremely well. Particularly Sam Chaney, is that his first name? Sam Chaney and John Jackson. I mean, they played well, as did
Raphael.
Yeah,
Raphael
Giancola.
Yes.
Yeah, I pronounced that name wrong because it was going by the program and I should never have. But so describe to me how it was to play with those particular players.
It was a lot of fun playing with them because nobody on our team was selfish. Everyone just wanted to go out and win, and no one cared who scored. And those guys really, they did a lot. They played a lot better defense than I did, so I mean that really helped the team out. And they hit a lot of big shots. Like we probably would have lost the game against Geneva, our first tournament game, if Sam Chaney didn't make a big three right at the end of the game when we were losing. So it wasn't just me scoring; it was always them scoring a lot of points and playing great defense and hustling all the time.
Of course, you pound the ball inside, that's your game. But in that game, two big, talking about three-point baskets, two big ones, one by Sam Chaney before the half and one by Giancola Jackson at the end of the third quarter. Kind of turned out to be the difference in the game. What did you do offensively to get those guys open? Jackson was wide open on his three-pointer.
I think just whenever teams would double down on me inside, everyone would find an open space in an area that I was able to see them to get them a pass, and that just got us a lot of open three-pointers.
Before that game, Steve, you did play Geneva, a little closer than I had thought it was going to be. I don't like to say this, but could it have been a case of maybe looking ahead to Edgewood? I'm not taking anything away from Geneva because they played well in the second half of the season.
Yeah, it's hard to switch gears, and honestly, we didn't do a whole lot of prep for Geneva. We did a lot of prep for Edgewood. Now, I think we were ready for the game, but Geneva played great. Their coaching was fantastic. I mean, they were really ready to go, and we just didn't play all that well. We didn't execute. We did down the stretch when we had to pull it out, but it was just kind of a subpar game for us, and I think they played one of their better games of the year. And they had a good season. I mean, they were in a lot of games. They didn't have a lot of wins to show for it, but they're going to be a very improved team next year.
I read recently where after the season ended last year, you thought some of the people in the area thought a little bit lower of your ball club, but you proved them wrong. You and the team proved them wrong.
You know, it's almost a little unfortunate that there's so much negativity. I don't understand it, but you're good for a while, so people want to knock you down. Everybody's got you circled on their schedule, especially locally, which is fine. You know, we were ready for that. But we knew we'd be okay. We knew we had guys, you mentioned John Jackson, Raphael, Sam Chaney, Caden Sisson, guys that fight, compete every day, and you can never count those guys out. They have a lot of heart.
Another guy who had a good game was Sisson. You don't hear too much of him during the season, but he was all over the floor. I thought he played extremely well.
Yeah, we played Edgewood 3 times during the season. He always guarded Hayden Konecki. Hayden, excellent player, averaged double digits, points per game during the season. In the 3 games combined, Caden held him to 7 points. So that goes to show you, without contributions from guys like that, we don't win that game.
Sure. First time you played Edgewood was kind of a blowout. You guys winning at home, and then you went to Edgewood. I think it was 10 or 11 point loss there. So I figured this game had to be much closer, and it was. What did you learn from those 2 games? Both of you can answer that question. What did you learn as a coach, and what did you learn playing the game?
I think the first game we got up, things went our way. We got some breaks, we got some fortunate calls, and we just got rolling, and Edgewood kind of just shut it down. Second game, Sam was a little under the weather. He missed some school, and we just weren't firing all cylinders. It's a tough place to play at Edgewood. I mean, they were undefeated there this year. Even Poland is a very good team, couldn't go up there and win. So they did a nice job there. You see both sides of the coin. You can beat a team by 30 and lose by 12, and there's a wide range there. And we thought it'd be close too, but you just pick up little things here and there, different plays that you try to emphasize when you're watching film.
Sam, a lot of awards have come your way this year. One of them, of course, being the Player of the Year in the All-American Conference White Tier. What was that feeling? Talk about that particular award first, because I got a whole sheet of awards here we're going to talk about.
It was nice to win that because those are the teams that we play every year, twice a year, and I've been playing them all since I was a freshman. So it was nice to get that award and be recognized as the best player in the conference this year.
And that award comes from the AAC coaches.
Yes.
Yeah, coaches vote
In that particular
in that tier. Yes.
For that award.
Yes.
Steve, is there a difference between Player of the Year and MVP?
Yeah, absolutely.
What would the differences be?
I think MVP is whoever means the most for your team with whatever you're doing, and I think sometimes that's not always the person with the best stats or the main guy per se. If I had to probably give an MVP award, obviously Sam's Player of the Year everywhere. John Jackson, I think, is an MVP guy that went out and guarded the best player every game. It's both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Without question, he went out every night and did a lot. Was asked to do it. Played all kinds of minutes at the end of the year. We switched him to point guard. He brought the ball up, and still guarded the best player talk about that Edgewood game. Held Marcus to 9 points. So a lot
Not
of big
easy to do, is it?
contributions. No, not at all. Not at all.
Steve French, coach of the Jefferson Falcons, County Coach of the Year, and Sam Hitchcock, County Player of the Year, my guest today on Around the Town with Chuck. Another big award here, second team All-Ohio Division II by the Associated Press. It's the highest state honor any county boys players had since 1998. How thrilling was that?
I was glad to see that when Coach told me that I had received that honor. That's about 20 years, so I mean, I was pretty thrilled with that.
So you got the news first.
Yeah, I'd heard the media votes on that, so they get together at the district level, and then
What's the media know? But they knew a lot in this case.
yeah, and you know what's nice is obviously there's only one representative from the Star Beacon or any local paper, so everything else you're talking about people from the Plain Dealer,
Okay.
papers in
Big
Akron,
time.
the News Herald, so they get together with the district, and then all their information is sent to the state, and certain people, the heads of the district, get together and do that. So definitely a very big award. I think 1998 was Tom Church, right here in Conneaut.
Yes.
So yeah, he was a great player. So very good honor.
Now coaching in college somewhere, and
Yeah.
he just got another job here somewhere. Sam, you averaged 24 points this season, along with nearly 14 rebounds a game, top numbers in the county. Do you take more pride in scoring or getting those rebounds? Obviously both. But
Yeah, I'd say the rebounding because that's more of like a hustle thing and like toughness and scoring. I mean, that I don't really care that much about the scoring part, but I do like to have a high rebound number.
How do those two average numbers compare to your junior year?
I think I was at 15 points a game and like 9 rebounds a
So
game.
significant improvement in the 1 year. 2 times in the district finals.
Yeah.
2 times you've lost to the same team, like Catholic Cougars. You played them in the regular season, pretty close. I think it was at Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
And this game wasn't too bad either.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this question. Someone said to ask you. I didn't think of this question, but are you okay with the private schools being in the tournament since they have all these recruiting abilities?
Oh boy, I could talk about that for hours. I guess first I'm gonna say any team has the opportunity to recruit. Okay, that's out there in public
Is
schools.
that because of the open enrollment we have?
Yes, more than people realize. The difference is with open enrollment, generally you can only get a player from an adjoining district. So if the district is not bordering on your district, you can't get that player. Like for example, Gilmore Academy's girls just won the Division III state championship.
Yes. Congratulations to them.
You look on their roster, they have girls from 4 counties on their roster, 4 different counties in Ohio. Jefferson, we could never have boys from 4 counties. So you look at things like that, and well, I don't think they should be separated. There's got to be some way to find a middle ground, because it still is a state championship, and that should encompass the whole state. But something like that, boy, that's stretching it to me.
When you look at the 2 losses to Lake Catholic, what do you think kept you from getting over the hump? Anything stand out in particular?
Both games in the middle of the game, I know that in the district finals, a 14-0 run they had during the end of the second, start of the third, and the start of the third quarter, they had maybe an 8-0 run on us at home earlier in the year. So for whatever reason, just in the middle of the game, we couldn't get that off. It's a little bit of fatigue. They have a little deeper bench, so they're bringing guys off the bench that honestly aren't much different than their starters. Sometimes we have to go deeper into the bench. There's a little more of a drop off for us. So I think that might have been the issue a little bit. It's just a little bit of depth.
Sam, back to you again, because we got a lot of awards. I'm trying to mix in with the coach too. 84 points you scored in 2 games alone. You had 2 games where you scored 42 points, breaking a school record. The previous high was 41 points. And I think those games are both in February, and they both were on the road. How tough is it to not only break the record, but to do it away from home? And what was working for you those 2 nights, if you can remember?
I think at Lakeview, I just went out and played, and maybe a little bit more shots were falling than they had on a normal day. Same thing at Poland. At Poland, we were struggling a little bit, so I brought the ball up a little bit more and tried to score more points just to try and help us win that game, but that didn't work out, I guess.
I think you were quoted as saying that you were happy for both those games, but more so the game that you won.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
the 42 points.
I'm not usually too happy after we lose, so.
I can understand that. And you don't lose very often. I think the 9 losses were more than you had the 2 years before.
Yeah, definitely. We had,
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, 5 and 2 the previous.
So what's your 4-year record there?
73 and 25.
Outstanding. 73 and 25. By the way, you look like the head coach of the Boston Celtics. Did anybody ever tell you that?
If I was only
And
half
he's
as
right now,
smart.
and he right now is tied for the number 1 seed in the
Yeah,
Eastern Conference.
Yeah, he's a basketball genius.
Oh yeah,
Offensive
he is
genius.
a great guy.
Yeah.
Most career wins, 73 in 4 years. That's like averaging 18 wins a year. And as a freshman, you had made a remark to somebody that you were not going to play junior varsity basketball.
Yeah.
And you proved them wrong, just like Coach French proved the people that were negative on your team winning.
Mm-hmm.
73 wins over 4 years. That's 18 a year out of a 22-game schedule. What do you think about that?
I mean, it was nice.
I'd be on cloud 9.
Yeah, we were just trying to win every game we could, and I mean, ended up being a pretty good amount of wins. Wish it could have been more, but it's all
What
right.
was your most satisfying game? All 4 years.
Probably.
Your opening game as a freshman, 17 points.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. But I think when we were freshmen and we beat LeBray, they'd made it to the state tournament the year before, and they had Peyton Aldridge, who was a senior that year, and was going to play Division I at Davidson, and we went to LeBray and beat them at the end of the season, and I think that was probably the biggest upset that we had, and the most gratifying one that we had.
So 73 wins, and you had 75, did you say?
Same as Sam.
Same as Sam. 73 wins for both of you. That's just incredible. You've scored most points. I've heard 1543 and I've heard 1545, but we're not going to argue, so we'll call it 1544. Career points, that's 386 a year? Is what it comes out to.
Yeah.
No wonder you like coaching this guy.
Yeah, he's not bad.
No, he's not bad at all. 386 points a year. 84 of them in 2 games.
Yeah.
And we're not done. Rebounds, 812 in the 4 years. That's like 203 a year. Rebounds.
Yeah.
Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, both.
Yeah.
What do you like doing better?
Offensive. I'm trying to score again.
Get that second shot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what you did quite a bit against
Yeah.
Edgewood there, especially in the 3rd and 4th quarter. I think both you and Marcus got off to a little slow start, but then you picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Second all-time leading scorer in the county. It goes on and on and on, Cindy, with these awards with Sam. Second all-time leading scorer in the county. I don't know who was first, but you were second.
AJ Henson is first.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of points.
Yeah.
Are you excited about it?
I mean, yeah.
I hear you might not even play basketball in college. You're going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me either. What kind of a doctor?
Surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, or heart surgeon. I'm more towards orthopedic surgeon right now.
Oh my goodness, 4.0 student. Mm-hmm. What's it like? It's not all about athleticism, is it, Coach? Because you like those students keep their grades up as well.
Yeah.
4.0.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys with good grades, and that's, as a coach, I ask a lot of the kids, and a lot mentally when we're watching film, when we're preparing for games. I don't really hold anything back. I try to put everything I know and what I see out there to them. And that's not something that can be retained or used by everybody. So it is definitely nice to have people with a little higher intelligence there that can retain that.
Of course, you played the game yourself not all that long ago with Pymatuning Valley Lakers. What are you, about 30?
I'll be 30 in this summer, yes.
And Lakers, of course, the Hitchcock name goes there too. Anything different in the 12 years from when you played to today's play? Are more players shooting threes like they are in the NBA? Is that a big difference?
Definitely more threes.
Is that the way the game is just going?
I think so. You know,
Are you okay with that?
I think the game goes the way it's called. You know, I think that has a big deal with how the game is played. Obviously, you know, before the three-point line, it wasn't an option, but once it was installed and you kind of got out of some of that old school back to the basket stuff, and as analytics creep in, there's just a big article in Sports Illustrated about back to the basket post-up play, and other than Gonzaga, nobody really having success at the collegiate level with it. And it gave some specific examples, but you know, you see stuff like that, and the analytics computers are so big, you know, people look at the three more and more.
Now, what do you mean by that's the way that you go by the way the game is called? What does that mean?
Well, you know, we talked about Sam's 42-point games. At least the Lakeview game, I mean, he got 42 points because the referees were calling the game on the inside the same as they called on the outside. A lot of times they let a lot of stuff go inside. And I don't, both ways, it's not anything anti-Jefferson.
Right.
I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I think it's just different. They call the game with guards and bigs differently. Some referees don't, you know, and the good referees don't. They either call it both ways or they just kind of call nothing, which that's okay too. But I think it's just hard. It's hard to get it inside and score.
Are the AAC officials different than the ones here in the county?
No, a lot of them are the same. And unfortunately, there's a large shortage of officials right now. And there's definitely a shortage, and I don't see
Tough job.
It is a tough job, thankless job. Not a lot of younger people are getting into it. And I think some of the younger people that are, and I'm a younger guy, so they just don't want to work at it. You know, they kind of want to just, I know basketball, I'm just going to go to varsity games or whatever. Not so. And, you know, some of the officials we get, even in the tournament, I know for our Edgewood game, a couple of those guys are college officials. You know, I've seen them doing some college games, and they're not even from the area, not even close. So, you know, they got to get some different guys to do state tournament games.
What other differences do you see between when you played besides that three-point shot?
Yeah, I think players are good. I think players are even better. You know, I think people just continue to get better and better.
Are they smarter? Do they have basketball knowledge on the floor?
I don't think they have more. I think guys are bigger. I think they're stronger. I think they're more athletic. And I think they see more and they experience more basketball through social media and different things. I think maybe when I was in school, you know, I didn't get a cell phone until I got out of high school. So, you know, it's just kind of different. It's just a different age in terms of information.
Sam, you got another game you're still going to play. I think it's on April 21st. It's called the Ohio North-South All-Star Game. Fill us in. What's that all about?
It's one player from each coach's district.
Yeah.
And so there's about 12 on the north team, 12 on the south, like one senior from each district. So 24 players total for the state.
Well, good luck in that game. I'm
Yeah.
sure you will do extremely well.
Thank you.
Awards just keep on coming for Sam Hitchcock. Steve, how did you handle criticism? Or didn't you get any criticism in your 4 years of coaching?
You know, not too much,
I said
actually.
Sam, I meant Steve. I'm sorry.
Not too much. You know, I think any criticism maybe comes from outside, but a lot of it is just kind of masked as jealousy. I think a lot of people were just kind of jealous of some of the success. But in terms of people in Jefferson, you know, you might get a parent here or there, and you try to make them understand, you know, what you see and what we see in practice every day. But all in all, I think people were pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Earlier, I'd asked you about how the negativity about having a down season this year.
Yeah.
What I forgot to ask you, was that just in the county, or are you talking about the AAC people?
It's kind of everywhere. You know, it's kind of everywhere. Just when you go around, if you go to a summer league game or, you know, talk to a coach and, how's it looking next year? You're going to be down a little bit. You're going to, you know, I don't really understand that. I don't get that. And, you know, we didn't think we would be.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about your season now. You started the season losing 3 out of 5. 3 out of your first game, including a loss at Lakeside, 62-53, and then you came back with the big win over Edgewood, 72-44. After being 2-3 after 5 games, what was you thinking you needed to work on for the rest of the season?
You know, I think we just had to gel. We had a different team. We had a lot of guys who were role players or bench players stepping into starting roles. And the nice thing is you have a 22 game season. It's a long, long grind. You start basically at Halloween with practice, and we wanted to just gel and grow as a team. Sam got a lot of attention. A lot of people double team him, triple team him, and we had to learn how to deal with that. And we started working on it back in the summer. But that wasn't something that we really encountered in the previous 3 years because we had a lot of other weapons, and Sam wasn't that main guy, even in times where he was leading us in scoring. So we knew everyone key on Sam, right or wrong, that was all they saw. They weren't seeing the other pieces, and we just had to get the other pieces in the right spots.
Do you mentioned the 22 game schedule. Do you like that, or do you like the 20 when you played?
I think 22 is well when it's scheduled properly. There's a big gap at the end of the season, and it doesn't have to do with anything with the athletic directors. It's kind of the league scheduling we have and just how things work out. The tournament starts earlier in Central Ohio, so they build in a longer time for sectionals, and I'd like to see that shorten a little bit, especially with next year. How the brackets are done here changes where you're seated, kind of like NCAA style. Currently, we could pick where we want to go in the bracket. Now you can no longer do that. So if you want to take a game and shorten that gap, that's not an option anymore. So stuff like that, I'd like to see just the game spread out a little bit more. But other than that, I think 22 games is good.
Did you ever have 3 games in a week?
We played 3 games in 4 days.
Was that due
at
to
one
weather?
point this year? One was a weather makeup, yeah. But that's it. Sometimes you might have like Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, something like that scheduled. But try not to.
I always ask the Conde kids, I'll ask you, Sam, about when you have back-to-back games. They talk a lot about this in the NBA, how it can be, kind of tiresome for your legs. How do you feel at a back-to-back game?
Your body might be a little more tired, but I think anytime we play a game, we come out ready to go, or at least we think we're ready to go, try to be ready to go. So back-to-back games, it doesn't really bother me. I don't think it bothered the team that much. We just would come out and try and win any time that we were playing.
They did try to cut back on that a little bit. I didn't know, at least for Conde, I didn't notice that many back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple late in the year for whatever the reason, but I don't know if that's a scheduling issue when you're scheduling non-conference opponents, maybe?
Non-conference is where you get in, like we played a conference game with Hubbard on Friday, then Saturday we had a non-conference with Lake Catholic. Then we had to follow it up with a Monday game at Poland. So just things like that where it gets a little tricky. But I think, especially Connie now being in a league, a lot of that was alleviated, more conference games. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After that 3 out of your first 5 that you lost, then you won something like 7 straight games, I believe it was, until you met up with Edgewood and you lost to them. So during the 7-game stretch, what worked? As Coach was talking about, after losing 3 of the first 5, you turned it around and won 7 straight. What did you guys work on?
I think we just started to play better as a team.
Gelling, like Steve was saying?
Yeah, like he was saying. Everyone knew their roles and was after those first 5 games, I think everyone was more used to their role, and then we just started to play better on offense. Everyone was a little sick of losing at that point, so we started to play a little bit better defense, hustle a little bit more, and it just transferred into some wins.
So that brought you to 9-3, and things were looking really good. And then you hit a little losing skid where you lost 3 out of 4 again. Then you won 3 straight, kind of like a roller coaster season.
A little bit more up and down this year. Normally we're kind of even with a couple little dips, but yeah, we're a little more up and down. I think our margin for error was just a little less this year, and you get a couple tough games scheduled in a row, and those things happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're the coach of the year. Is this the second one for you? Did you win it last year?
I've won it all 4 years. Yeah.
All 4 years. 4 years in a row. Yeah. Well, congratulations. I didn't realize that. Wow, 4 years in a row, and 2 for you. Probably could have been 4. Who knows? So what are you expecting going forward now? We talked a little bit about you wanting to be perhaps a doctor, maybe still pursue a basketball in college. Where's it leaning as of right now?
I'm still going to go to a couple schools, look at those to see if I'm going to play basketball there. And I think if I don't play basketball, I'm going to go to Ohio State probably.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State University. The Ashtabula County Ashtabula County Awards that just came out. Who votes on that, Steve?
The voting for Player of the Year and Coach of the Year is done by the county coaches. So we submit who we want to put up. The paper, Matt Wagner's the one that ran it this year, columnist for the paper. He kind of tabulates everything, sends it out to the coaches. We cannot vote on our own player or for ourselves. So you have to vote for someone else. And the coaches vote for player and for coach. And then the rest is chosen by Matt and or the sports editor.
Okay, I'm going to get to that in a minute. So Tim's allowed to vote on that, even though he played Pennsylvania schools?
Absolutely. Yep, he's a county coach. He had a vote for player and coach of the year. Yes.
Okay, I was wondering if he got to vote on that or not.
Yeah.
But the first team and the second team is voted on by the sports writers.
Yes, those are the gentlemen at the Star Beacon choose those players. Yes.
Okay. Now, I don't see much of the county now because I'm covering those schools over there in Pennsylvania, like Cindy's Fairview Tigers over there. But Tony Masucci, second team? I don't understand why not first team. I mean, here's another guy who scored over 1,000 points. That's another word for you that I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Are you shocked?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah, well, you'll be honest.
No, I'm not shocked.
Because of the caliber of teams that they play?
I think, unfortunately, and I like Coach Turner. He's doing a great job. They're doing a great job there. I've never seen Tony Masucci play, so I can't personally say. I do see the scores. I see some of the teams they play. Southington was a team that beat them pretty bad in the tournament. Southington is in the NAC, which is, the bottom of the NAC. You have like Bloomfield and some schools that are barely in existence, to be honest. So, to lose by double digits to Southington, who was a 7-win NAC team, I think that stuff gets taken into consideration. I mean, you have to take into consideration strength of schedule.
Sure.
So, Tony could be the best player in the county. I don't know. I've never seen him personally. So, I think that's where, that's what you hear. That's what you hear.
Have you seen him play at all, Sam?
No,
You haven't seen him either?
No.
Okay. I did get to see him. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Of course, he had a big
Well, he
game
scored a lot of
against us,
points.
but pardon me?
He scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
Good career.
Anything else on the first team or second team or honorable mentions that surprised you at all? One way or the other?
I was surprised in a good way. Rafael Giancola got on the first team, and he was tremendous for us this year.
As did John, right?
John was actually
No?
just a special mention.
Oh, I thought he was on the first team.
Yeah, no, just special. There's only five people on the first team. And
Right.
the Player of the Year is one of them. So Sam got one spot. So there's 4 others. Rafael averaged 14 and 7 for us, and we have a little in the stats that we keep. There's an efficiency rating, and Sam had tremendous. His numbers around 28, but Rafael was about 19, and that takes into account all the stats, all the shooting percentages, turnovers, everything. And looking at Rafael's season compared to the guys we've had the last 4 years, he had like one of the top 5 seasons of anybody we've had in the past 4 years. So tremendous job. You don't always see it, but those numbers don't lie. I mean, he had a big impact for us.
Mm-hmm. So now, as you look ahead to next year, of course, you're going to lose Sam. You're going to lose a couple other seniors. How did the JV team perform this year?
I don't think we performed as well as we'd hoped. Got some guys with some athleticism. I think a little bit just comes down to learning how to win and maybe a little more competitive fire here and there. But there's guys, you see like a guy like Andrew Vance that came in a district final game. He had 4 threes. He's just a sophomore. So there's guys on the bench that can step up. And to be honest, a lot of these guys, we talk about Rafael Giancola. He didn't play last year in some of these district games. I mean, he was on the bench, and now this year he's one of our better players. So you kind of have to bide your time and then put in the work. And when it's your time, then it's your time to go. We got to be ready.
You mentioned the Vance boy. I think he's playing baseball now for the Falcons. I think he just struck out 14 Spartans in a doubleheader game here last Saturday. So it looks like he's going to excel there as well.
Yeah, he's a very good baseball player. Plays a lot of travel ball.
Mm-hmm. Any other teammates on the baseball team?
Sam Cheney plays baseball too. Plays third base.
So you just play basketball?
Yes. Used to play football, but not anymore.
Mm-hmm. When you say used to, like 9th grade, 10th grade?
No,
Middle
9th,
school?
10th, 11th. But then I had too many concussions in my junior year and couldn't play this year.
That had to make Steve pretty happy that you didn't play football.
I wasn't upset.
I know if I was a coach, I'd be pretty happy. Steve, we talked about the JV team now. What do you look at the middle school program? I know I'm proud of my nephew because he
Yeah.
coached your 7th grade team.
Yeah, Andrew did a great job. Him and Coach Justin Burnett did a fantastic, Justin Butler, I'm sorry, did a fantastic job at the junior high level. We have a lot of talent. There's some pieces in 8th grade. There's some talent there. 7th grade is loaded, absolutely loaded. And then with the 6th graders comes another Hitchcock. So there's a lot of
Another Hitchcock. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
He's even meaner.
Oh,
But
what's his first name?
Grant.
Grant. Yeah, little Grant. But no, in all seriousness, there is some good talent coming. So yeah, it's that 7th grade group there's some tremendous players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So reviewing again for me, then your most enjoyable game, I would have to think was the 2 wins over Edgewood.
Yeah, for the season, definitely.
Big rivalry.
The first one in Edgewood, we lost to him last year at the end of the year, or we beat him at the end of the year, but just that was kind of a big rival, and different things transpired there, and we wanted that game pretty bad. We were pretty focused.
And weren't they kind of like everybody's sexy pick to win?
They were, yeah, they were, and that's all well and good. But we thought by the end of the year we would get there. But that Poland game, that to me, I mean, that was a good one. I think Sam in that game had 32 and 22. 30 and 22. I mean, just
was that the game where you
tremendous.
were in foul trouble? You were in foul trouble in one of the games. Like you had 4 fouls. I don't know which game it was during the season. I don't know if that was a loss or a win. I don't remember.
More than a couple times.
That was another change. We talked about changes earlier. He used to get in foul trouble a lot. This year, not very much. Not very much at all. He learned how to discipline himself a little better and be in a little better position on help side not to get those fouls.
That's something I've noticed. First year looking at the Pennsylvania teams with Conneaut playing there, it seems like the scores were lower. Mm-hmm. The defense appeared to be better, but the officials just didn't seem to call that many fouls like they do here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever played Pennsylvania school, but
we go there in the summer. We like to go to Gannon or Penn State Barron and play some different teams. You play the same teams all winter. We don't want to play them during the summer, so we try to break away from that. It's so close. Why not? Go up to Erie and play some teams. They don't call much over there, and it's. I don't know. I just fear for it. It's nice to see in the NCAA tournament some of these scores. Teams scoring in the 90s. You just look back a couple years ago. Nobody was doing that. Teams were scoring in the 50s and the 60s. So the game is starting to open up a little bit at that level. Obviously, the NBA, it's kind of wide open right now. But at the high school level, I think it's got to open up just a little bit too. And Pennsylvania, in my experience there, they don't call much at all.
Last time I had you on the show, Steve, I asked you, and I don't remember your answer. I have to go back and listen to the tape. But I had asked you if you thought a shot clock would be good for high school basketball.
Well, I think it would. I think it would be good for the game. Obviously, we beat Edgewood by holding the ball at the end. So
that's what I was going to lead to. In the fourth quarter, with about 5 minutes to go, a sudden lead under 5, and you looked like you were kind of playing stall ball.
We were.
Something Bill Koval was good at.
Yeah, it's something we worked on all year, and we do a lot of drills where we hold the ball, and there's different objectives. But
what was your thought there to do that at that time?
Our thought was generally when you feel you have some players who are offensively skilled and can do it, and maybe the other team isn't as sound defensively, it takes a lot of will to defend for 30, 60, 90 seconds and get up on guys, at the half court level. And we thought we could hold it, maybe they wouldn't get up, and they kind of didn't. They were content with letting us hold it for a while. Then once they did start to get up, they fouled, and that was the goal. Was okay, then we can get to the free throw line and just try to shorten the game a little bit, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Fan support was outstanding in your districts with Jefferson and Edgewood. I thought it would be a packed gym, and it was. How about during the season? How was fan support, home and away games?
It was always good. I mean, a lot of people would come watch us. Even at away games, a lot of students would drive down to watch.
Great student cheering section, great support from the student, and that's good. Yeah. You don't see too many students going to games.
Yeah, I mean, even we went to scout the Perry-Geneva game before we went to play. I mean, we had a lot of kids that rode up with us that weren't even on the team, just a lot of guys that wanted to come hang out and watch it with us. So, I mean, it was nice. A lot of people, a lot of students, teachers, people around the community rooting for us to win. So, I mean, that was nice.
When you played Geneva before the Edgewood game, did they do anything differently that surprised you to keep that score close?
Um,
I know Nick Stoltz is one of their main players.
Yeah,
right?
Nick played tremendous. And their point guard Brandon Smith played tremendous. There was a gentleman that guarded Sam inside, and forgive me, I can't think of his name right now, but he had a really good game. He's athletic, a longer guy. He's a senior, but they just came out and executed and played hard. They did a good job.
Well, you guys certainly did a great job. Again, congratulations on being the Player of the Year for a second year in a row, and
Thank you.
4-time Coach of the Year, Steve French. And we'll
Thanks,
look
Jeff.
forward to seeing you here in Conneaut again on Sunday
Yes.
for the ACBF.
Thank
So thanks.
Yep. Thanks.
Sam Hitchcock and Steve French of the Jefferson Falcons, my guest today on Around the Town with Chuck.